I am with the incredible Johnny Herbert. Wow.
I don't know about incredible, but thank you.
No, you
Nice
are.
kind words.
Very much, very much. First of all, I want to ask you about the Great British Racing Drivers book that you signed this morning and that was put together by the beautiful Indra Flack. And that was a bit of a moment between you and two other commentators.
Yes, David Coulthard and Martin Brundle.
That's right.
And I remember it well, in the old pit lane at Silverstone.
And I was also told a story that you made Indra a little bit worried that you might not turn up.
That sounds like me. Yeah, I like my practical jokes. I enjoy seeing smiles on other people's faces, sometimes worried faces, when you say, maybe I'm not going to be able to make it. But it's all part of the fun at the end of the day. Did I make it? Yes, I did. And it's in there at page 73, I do believe.
You kept that. You kept that to memory. Anyway, it is a fabulous picture. We can get a glance at it in a moment. Here we go. It's incoming. Incoming. And your and your signature as well.
Yes.
There you go.
Got to get the other two.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Fabulous picture.
I'll do that one too. Yeah. Nice, lovely background.
It is, nice, and it's a great book as well.
It is.
Good to be a part of, I think. A great advert. But to you, I've been watching Formula One for a long time, since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So you popped along, cheeky, chappy, good-looking bloke with a great southern accent. I very much enjoyed watching you, and of course, like probably most people, I do wish you'd have had that little bit more success being a Brit. But that first win, British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
Come on, let's go back to there.
Very special. Well, again, the success. Thank you. A bit more success would have been nice. Yes, I agree. But the crash I had back in 1988, made a big difference to my life, but to my racing life as well. And Silverstone, it's always got a special part in my heart because I did Formula 4 there, Formula 3, Formula 3000, a little bit of sports car as well. And of course, then you get to Formula 1 and the huge event that the British Grand Prix is at Silverstone, the way the BRDC and Silverstone have changed the landscape of Silverstone. The circuit has pretty much stayed the same, with a few little changes over the years. I remember going there for the first time probably in the early mid 80s, and I think there was probably one burger truck, and that was it. Then there was just a track and nothing else. Of course now there's as many burger trucks as you wish for. There's music, there's entertainment. It's a fabulous venue that we've got. We've got it in Britain, we've got it in Northamptonshire. The BRDC and Silverstone do a brilliant job. So to go there in '95 with a possible shot of going for the race winner, of course, Michael and Damon were the two guys fighting for the win of the championship. They had their coming together on the Exeter Bridge, and that enabled me to be in the lead, which was quite a nice surprise. I didn't realise until hanging straight that I was actually leading the race. I hadn't quite put my math together, but I was 3. Take away 2 and gives 1. I'm leading. I'm leading the race. So it was a wonderful experience to have, and something that you don't forget the whole build up to the weekend, which is really nice. Very, very, very nice.
I think as somebody watching it, because of the accident you had and because of those circumstances, just for you then suddenly be in the lead, back at home, it's like jumping and screaming in front of the television because it's like, wow, what's that just happened? Look at this, look at this. And,
well, it was a surprise for a lot of people, including myself. But again, that's racing. Racing is, it's not always clean cut. It's not always, it's a given that it's going to be Michael or Damon as it was back then, or Lewis as it is today, or Max or whatever it may be. Well, it was nearly Max who was in the race this year, wasn't it? Anyway, but it's something. It's not always
Carlos.
Is a given. Well, thank you, Singapore, probably more so. But it's one of those things that there are those opportunities that do come along when it's a bit unexpected. And Carlos, like you just said, it was unexpected when it came along, and that's the way that.
But I think that's why motorsport used maybe people are saying it, obviously it used back in the day, it was great, it was exciting. And I think that's maybe why, because there could obviously be more than one winner. Still only one champion at the end of the day, but it could be somebody different every single race.
But I'll tell you what's interesting is, back then, I always remember in '92 when Nigel Mansell won the World Championship, and I had a new Lotus 107 that came to Monaco, and Nigel was on pole. I qualified 6th, and I think we were 2.5 seconds off of Nigel. I was 6th. We were 2.5 seconds. When now the whole grid, it's less. Sometimes just over a second, but sometimes less than a second at certain tracks. So it's amazing how more competitive it is in many respects. But you still have this ability of teams and drivers to still dominate. But that's with all the hard work that happens sort of behind the scenes back at all the factories, and it's a very rare thing to see. McLaren nearly achieved a very similar feat. I think in 88, I think it was, with Senna and Prost.
They did.
Had to come together with the Williams driver, whose name's just got out of my head.
And I knew this. I wrote this up not long ago as well, and I know this race. And he didn't finish. You're right.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
He did. He did. He came off the track, didn't he?
Louis Schlesser.
Well done.
That's it. I got there.
You got a better brain than me.
Yes.
You're right, though. That was a season that I started watching. So, and I think that's pretty much why I got hooked straight away, because that was a pretty phenomenal season.
But it was a dominant year, and everybody goes, it was fantastic. It was a dominant year.
Oh, of course,
But everyone says, it was better back then. No,
it's still the same. People that weren't a McLaren
it was
fan
2 drivers, but this year, of course, it wasn't quite the case. But
I mean, and that was the time when Prost had actually more points than Senna, but they only took the points from certain races. So Ayrton won the championship, even though mathematically Prost won the championship. So there were different times back then, weren't they?
The rules change. Racing fundamentally is exactly the same. The skill set is exactly the same. The cars are very different. They've got big monster long things nowadays.
Huge this year, aren't they? Even compared to last year.
Technology is different, so it's just different. I don't think you can say, well, it was better back in the 90s or back in the 80s, 60s or whatever it was, but it was just very, very different. What
do you think to Max then? And do you think it's still the car a little bit? Do you think it's him that's just absolutely phenomenal? And Gunther Steiner said something the other day about Max possibly couldn't win in that car, but could he win in a Haas?
No one could win in a Haas. But that goes back to history. The very, very best of Formula One, but generally of sports, are the ones who just have something that a little bit special and are able to consistently perform like they do. Max is massively special. He's unbelievably quick, but every time he gets into the cockpit, Lewis, I'm sure that can still be the case for him if he gets the right car underneath him, as it was when he had his dominant years at Mercedes and that first championship he had at McLaren. Senna and Prost, Mansell, Hill, Hakkinen and Schumacher.
And you see it when they come in. You don't see it when they're winning the championships. You see it when they're young. You can see that special. Even when Michael came in, you saw it at
that,
that rookie season. You knew it. You can feel it. And then people coming along now, get them the car.
Michael was the same when he got in the Jordan at Spa. Impress everybody in qualifying when he'd never been in a Formula One car bar. The test he had at Silverstone, Ayrton Senna's first year, in '84 when he nearly won his first race, and after a couple of races in Monaco, when the race was stopped, and Alan won that race that weekend. There are those special sportsmen, but especially F1 drivers that do come out, every now and again. Max is one of those.
Absolutely.
And I thoroughly enjoy what he does on the track. It's a little bit, sometimes the elbows come
I think he was in that first couple of seasons, wasn't he? But I think he's really matured now.
Well, let's see. It's when he gets under pressure from someone else, that's when it might those elbows come out. But that's a bit of racing. As long as they don't play dirty. It's the dirty side. It's always, you don't need to do that because you have that. That's all of them. accidentally driver on the grid. So it's something. Hopefully, that's what we're going to see this coming season. A closer fight between
Hopefully.
1, 2, 3, maybe 4 teams. Who knows?
Who do you think's had the best rookie season of all of them then?
Of all, what now or total?
Just,
The whole.
yeah, just going back.
Going back.
Yeah. Of all the drivers. Who do you
Now,
think
I'm
had
not
the
very
best
good on
one?
names going back to probably the 50s.
No,
but I
me
think
neither.
there are certain drivers, and I really can't remember their names, that have come in a rookie season and actually won. I think they've won a world championship. I think that's quite sort of. I think it has. But race wins straight away as well.
Yeah.
It's less so nowadays that you come straight in. Okay, Max went from Toro Rosso and went into the Red Bull at Barcelona, won his first race in the car then. I don't know. It's a very hard thing. You know, Michael was mighty impressive in that Jordan, but of course the car broke in the race, so we never actually saw that happen. Lewis was, mighty when he first went into Formula One against Fernando Alonso and was damn competitive straight away.
Yeah.
So to pick one, I think is very, very harsh to ask me that question because it's very, very hard. They've all got something very, very special. Did Max blow everybody's doors off when he came into Formula One? No, he didn't. Just because the car wasn't up to speed.
Yeah.
Lewis had that opportunity in a McLaren, which was a good car.
Yeah.
So it's just, you've got to be in the right place at the right time. But when you have that opportunity, you've got to be able to grab it and use it to the best of your ability.
So we've talked about the winners which stand out. Is there anybody that's come into Formula One that you thought could and should have made it, but perhaps didn't because of car, because of whatever?
Well, there's drivers that never got in.
Yeah.
Formula One. Tom Christensen. I always mention Tom. Tom Christensen, multiple winner at Le Mans, had a fantastic sort of young career coming up to just below Formula One. But he never got that opportunity to get into Formula One. Should he have done? Well, yes, but it doesn't always. The windows don't always open if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, as I said. And there's been Tommy Byrne, there's another one, lovely Tommy Byrne, mad as he is, but he never quite got the opportunities either. Raw talent, massive, but we just never had that real proper opportunity to see it. He had a couple of races in not so good teams, and then it all sort of petered out, and then that was it. So yeah, it's a difficult one, but you always get the best rise to the top anyway. But I'm, really happy that we've got some great British drivers out there. With Lando and George, for example, Alex, of course. But we've got some young ones coming up as well, which is really nice as well. So we're in a good place at the moment. We haven't won a race for a while as British drivers, but I think hopefully that's something that might change this year.
Yeah, hopefully. So back to you then briefly before we wrap up. You also did get a couple of other wins. You got a win at the European Grand Prix in Nürburgring.
Yeah.
And
the other one was Monza.
Monza.
In '95.
Sorry, apologise.
But yes, again, I was, as I said, very lucky considering the accident I went through. My left foot, they were talking about taking off. Getting rid of that. But luckily, my wife or my girlfriend at the time, my parents sort of said, no, you keep trying, keep it on. And luckily, it sort of took hold and stayed on. It was never as easy as it was before. I found it so easy prior to that accident I had. And that's what the likes of Max and Lewis and Michael and Nicker and etc. They just have this unbelievable ability to drive the car right to the very limit. It's actually very easy for them. You don't have to really work on it or think about it. It's just a very natural, easy thing. But yeah, it was lovely having historic Silverstone, historic Monza in '95, and then another historic track with Malaysia with the Stewart team, Shajaki and Paul Stewart as well. So.
Did you have to have any modifications then to help you inside, with the pedals or anything?
No, not really. No, because there was no way of really aiding. Because I was always in quite a bit of pain during the races, but it was something I took some ibuprofen before the race, for example, and that sort of took off the edge. And it was just then adapting the issues I had to the cockpit itself. So it was a lot. As I said, it was a lot more difficult. I had to think about it. Where everything before, I didn't think. It just happened. I'm very, very fortunate that it sort of happened that way. Would it have been nice to have had that mentality in Formula One itself, not having to think about it, having normal feet? Sure. But that wasn't how my sort of path in life was, happened. So I'm glad it happened as it did, and I'm glad I pushed myself to the limit to be able to produce, some good results. But it's still not what I wanted.
No,
I was
of course,
always after,
yeah.
yes, winning races, winning a world championship. That didn't happen, but I'm very lucky I got through. I'm very lucky I had a career in Formula One.
And even
anyway.
afterwards.
Because as I said, a couple of names that should have, but didn't.
Yeah.
It's one of the things, you always try and put it out of your mind. I always try to understand that there is a danger there, but I'd literally put it in a box, lock it, throw away the key.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah,
in the
yeah,
back of my mind, and you can't think about it.
No,
as soon as you start thinking about the dangers that are there, you'll never produce the performances that you have to.
You've
when
never
you're in a
run your
Formula One
races.
car. No, you're not. And but that's that's the kick.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
the
Yeah.
drive. That's the thrill
Yeah.
that I want. I want to be tested. I want to be on the edge, knowing that if it goes wrong, there's going to be a consequence for that. And that's the challenge. It's a mental challenge for one. The physical challenge is something I had as well. But I think that's how it should be. And of course, over the years, safety has improved so much, which is brilliant. But you've still got to have the rawness there. You've still got to have that test. All the and it still annoys me today when we're still talking about track limits.
Yeah.
There's a track limit. If you stuck grass there, you would not be going where you're
Austria,
going at the moment.
Austria,
or
some
Austin
grass.
or wherever it may be. There's a lot of that. Monaco, they never ever smash into the wall every time they go on track because they can judge it.
Carlos.
Yeah, there's many,
Sorry,
many. Yes, there's many of those.
He keeps coming up.
That's the skill. Do you like Carlos?
It's all right. I'm not a big fan. No, he just keeps coming up in conversation. I don't know. Is he single? No, I'm joking.
He's
I'm
lovely.
joking.
He's lovely.
I am joking. So one last question. If you could relive a moment, only one moment, just one moment from your racing career, whatever that age was, whatever that moment was.
Relive it?
Yeah, relive it for the pleasure, for the enjoyment, for whatever happened.
Okay.
What would be your number one?
Brands Hatch, 1988, Formula 3000, pole position. The race that unfortunately I had to crash and broke my legs. I wish I hadn't parked the car at the angle that I did on the second restart that we had before the race. I think I probably would never have been in the position that eventually 30 seconds down the road I got myself into. That's the one thing I wish I could go back and change it. But I can't.
No.
So there you go.
Well, let's finish on a high though. Let's finish on a good one. Someone must ask you this every time we chat to you. Favourite moment?
Silverstone, very easy, very, very simple. The last lap especially, just seeing all the sea of British fans, Union Jacks, everybody waving on that last lap all the way around. To see that, you go through, your career sort of thinking that moment might come and hopefully comes. But then when it's there and it's happening and you're seeing it, it's fantastic, because if it wasn't for those fans, I wouldn't have had that opportunity to be racing at Silverstone. So I've got to thank you, the fans, because it's very important that you guys still support the drivers that you do today. I've got to thank the marshals as well, that sacrifice a lot of time over the weekends as well. They never really get recognition for that, but it's everything. It's everything that the whole show put on back then in the 90s, but still puts on today. It's different. Is it better? I don't know, but it still excites me, because the fundamentals of it, as I said, haven't changed at all. So, but Silverstone and winning, that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
and that's
absolutely.
hopefully something where we're going to be seeing a lot of this year for sure, with all the 24 races that we've got.
Well, I'm glad we agree on that. It's my favourite memory of you as well. So, thank you so much, Johnny. Thank you.
Pleasure.